Okay.
Okay. So now we speak about how to transform our idea into a concrete idea. And we have learned from the school that when we have a lot of ideas and we need to put it on the concrete way, we have to have a design or to write down it. So now we use a scheme that is the most used scheme all over the world for having a clear idea of what your startup is, and that is the Canva business model. So Canva business model helps us to present our idea to someone else. Why? Because we need money to realize our idea. And if we go to the investors, they need to have a visual idea of what your startup is. And if you send them a Canva, a good Canva, it is just a good starting point. You could also send an abstract of the project, but an abstract of the project has not the relation between your idea and the market. A Canva scheme has really all the relations between the beginning and the end. So if you give me a paper with the Canvas business model, I understand if you have done all the steps needed to create a startup, or if you fail in some point. For example, I could say, your idea is a wonderful idea, but you don't have clear what your market is. Or I can say, your idea is wonderful, but you don't have partners to do it, and alone you can do it. Or you don't have the marketing measures, or you don't have defined where to find money, your budget, your financial resources. So I really, in 5 minutes, I understand where are your strengths, where are your weaknesses. And me as a consultant or me as investor, I can help you. So the training, not only my training course, but all the training course for startup need to create a very good Canva model as a beginning, to create then a video to present it to investors for fundraising. So these are the most widespread practice to create a startup. Idea, Canva, business Canvas model, a video, and the presentation to the market, to the fundraiser, to a crowdfunding platform, to a bank, to everybody that can give you money. The first important thing to define is a value proposition. So, has someone an idea what a value proposition is? Francesca? Try, you can just write the things. It's not important that you have the right.
So you can repeat, please, because I'm right.
Yes. When Francesca, when you think of something value, what do you think about?
Value proposition, and
yes.
I think is you need to value. I don't know, all the market, the proposed.
No, come back. You say now, for example, when you need, it's not a corporate example, but when you want you go in a restaurant together with other people, but you know that in that restaurant work a man that you really love, and you would like that he become in love with you. So what do you make in order to, before going to that restaurant? His name is Paolo. Paolo works in this restaurant, and you have your own chance because it's a very luxury restaurant. You will never go there again because you have received a voucher to go in that restaurant. It's the only time you go in that restaurant, and you can really meet Paolo, and you can really define what? First thing, you prepare or not? You prepare, or do you go there as you go with your t-shirt and your shoes, gymnastic shoes? Do you prepare yourself?
Oh, yes, yes, I'm prepared.
Yes.
All my,
So you prepare yourself as the best, in your opinion, logically.
Yes, my opinion, yes. I'm present all my skill, all my...
Yes, in order to be different from who? To be different from
the other people.
Other girls. Yes, I hope only girls. I hope. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So you prepare yourself in order to be different from other girls.
Yes.
So in this occasion, you are the product and Paolo is the market. Now take this startup.
Yes, I talk with him for my... I tell to him why you need to bring me to another people.
No, you are the product. You are the product. What do? You prepare yourself as the best, okay? And he is the market. So you have to present you to the market, to Paolo, to convince him to fall in love with you, okay? This is a situation that it's like a joke. If you think to a corporate has a product, you have to prepare all the information about the product just to sell in Ukraine. And your product to be sold in Ukraine has to be different from what?
For the
from other?
Yes, for another market, I need to tell.
No, one moment. Your product has to be different from other. So you have to be different from other girls. The product has to be different from other products that are already in Ukraine. Okay. So the value proposition is what? Is something that characterize your product or your service and is different from other products. Okay. For this reason, Carlotta has introduced the innovation, because if I put on the market the same products that people already has, it's very difficult to sell it. But if I open, for example, the restaurant, the Japanese restaurant, and I only write because it happens in Bolzano. It happens that you have all the same Japanese restaurant, but you have a Japanese and Asiatic restaurant, Chinese, Japanese, and Asiatic restaurant. Then they cook the same thing, but you think to find 3 different dishes, and they have 3 different menus. So they tell you this is a Chinese specialty, this is a Japanese specialty. So this is important, because you know that here, when you go in a Chinese restaurant, you don't eat things from China, you eat things from Italian people. So it's nice because they have understood that people from Bolzano would like to understand the difference between Japanese, Chinese, and Mongolian. In this case, both Mongolian. For example, They cut the flesh, and they use the flesh in a different way with a lot of vegetables. This is the Mongolia style. It was nice because I never knew what Mongolian ate, and going there I knew it. So they are the same, they have the same products, but they add as a title Japanese and Mongolian, or Chinese, Japanese, I don't remember. So innovation is important, but even if it is not innovative, you have to give this value proposition. That is, so when you sell a product, you don't sell a product, but you sell a value. And you exchange this value between you and your customers. So what is important is that you don't start from a product. You don't start, I love the cups of tune. I want to make cups like tune. Tune is the most important, very, very popular brand in Bolzano. No. You cannot start from, I want to make a restaurant. I want to make a piece of land to enjoy, to plant tomatoes that are very, very little, not big. You have to start from your customers, from their needs, from their problems. And so before making a startup, you have to open your ear and hear people. What are their needs? Logically, in your section. So if you don't want to create another airplane company, you don't have to go to fly for 1 year and hear what are the disclaimers and the problems of people traveling, because no. But if you want to open a restaurant, you have to, if you go in other restaurants, you hear people, what they say, what they think. You go in internet, you see what are their needs. Why in a restaurant has 5 stars and another restaurant 1 star. So it's not a problem of product or service or customers, but it's a values proposition solution that you give to people. So you have to answer to this question. Carlotta and Francesca, you don't need to write because I share with you the slides in 20 minutes, okay? Also in English and also in Italian. So what is a value proposition? You have always to make questions. What value do I deliver to the customer? Which problems do I solve with this product? Which customer needs what we are giving? So my product can have different characteristics. Different characteristics that can be, for example, newness. For example, Carlotta says something innovative. Logically, if I don't, instead of producing another phone, I produce a clock. When came out the first clock, we remained very shocked because we could do everything with the clock instead of the phone. Or performance, for example, why do we buy always a new phone each 3 months, 6 months? Because, not because, yes, just also for a status symbol, but also because it has new performance, because the battery because the battery has more power, because the photograph, the camera is more powerful, because the space is more space. Or for example, if you speak about services, because it's a service getting the job done. For example, I have nothing to do and they make everything for me. And this is important, for example, when you have to for the services with the government, with the post, with the bank. Okay, why I appreciate bank online? Because they don't have to go to a bank physically to make something. Or it could be have a new design. For example, Apple has the same characteristic of a Samsung, but an Apple has become a status symbol. So you don't buy an Apple because it has more giga or a better camera than Samsung, but because a friend of you has an Apple, any phone. Or you can sell for a less price. In a lot of services, you can also it can also be more important the risk reduction, because if I fly with the company that give me less risk, I'm happy. Or accessibility, for example, all the debate about accessibility for disabled people or for people that has, for example, no time. So if you open a shop in Verona, it's the only shop that open from 8 o'clock till midnight, you can perhaps have a big success, even if it's another shop of tobacco or of t-shirt, because in the night, in the evening, it's the only open shop. And logically, convenience, usability. So if you go, when you speak about usability, we speak about easy products, easy services. So if I go in a website and I find the best t-shirt of the world, but then I need half an hour to buy it, I go away, because now I need only with free click, I want to have bought a product. So these are the characteristics that we can see if we want to create a value proposition. And starting from the value proposition, we have to go on with all the other things. So now